Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel IGCSE Biology Help. In today's video, I'll be solving the October-November 2024 Paper 1 Variant 1. This is for the core students and this is the MCQ or multiple choice paper. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and like my videos to receive more content like this. Let's start solving. Question number 1 says, the diagram shows a leaf on a plant. There are carbon dioxide from the air. It is taken into the leaf and there are simple sugars made in the leaf, and it's also absorbing some sunlight over here. Which characteristic of life is represented by this diagram? So as we can see, and it's also absorbing water from the soil over here. So this shows clearly that this is photosynthesis, which indicates that the plant is making its own food. So this is a form of nutrition for the plant. Number 2 says, which description of a species is correct? So this is asking about the definition of a species as specified in the syllabus. You can check out my video. I've made a video about all of the definitions you have to know and everything you have to know in the whole subject of IGCSE Biology for core and extended students. So the correct definition should be a group of organisms that can reproduce to produce fertile offspring. Question number 3 says, dolphins are mammals. I have highlighted the word mammals because this is the key word of our question over here. Many students will get confused because dolphin, they will think dolphin lives in the sea, it's a fish. No, they have specified that it is a mammal. So it will have lungs, not gills. And also it will produce milk because this is features of mammals. So the answer will be D. Number 4 says, which structures are found in an animal cell? Of course, animal cell they don't have any cell walls. So you will choose from either B or D. Okay, so over here in B, there is cell membrane, there is no cell wall, there is no chloroplast, there is no large vacuole, there is cytoplasm and nucleus. So this is so far so good. Now let's see why D is not correct. D says that there is no cell membrane, there's no cell wall, there is chloroplast. This is incorrect because chloroplasts are only found in plant cells. So our answer is going to be B. And also there is no large vacuole in animal cells, and there is a cytoplasm. So this is incorrect. So the answer should be B. Number 5 says, what is the function of ciliated cells in the bronchi? The ciliated cells, they are like having little hairs on them. If you guys remember, they are for moving the mucus around. So the answer is going to be C. Number 6, the diagram shows an organism called a copepod. The magnification of the diagram is 30. So the length of line XY, which is this one, is 45 millimeters. What is the actual length of the copepod? So over here I have drawn a little diagram for you guys. It is the I am triangle. So they have given us the magnification, which is 30. And they have also provided the length of the line, which is the image. So this is 45. So you're going to divide 45 over 30 on the calculator, and you're going to get 1.5 millimeters, which is our answer. So this is the triangle you guys should be using in any magnification question, whether in paper 2 or even in paper 6. All of the magnification questions, you can use this simple method to solve. Some molecules have Number 7, some molecules move through a membrane during osmosis. Which row shows the molecule that moves and the type of membrane? So osmosis, we know it is for water, not oxygen, so we're not going to be choosing from A or B. Now it is partially permeable osmosis, so the answer is going to be C. 8, what is the feature of active transport? A says it requires energy from respiration, which is correct. B says it involves random movement of molecules. This is actually for diffusion, not for active transport. C says substances are moved down a concentration gradient. This is incorrect again. This is for osmosis and diffusion. Water is the only substance moved by this process. Of course, this is incorrect. Number 9 says, which substances are made by linking together glucose molecules only? This is going to be cellulose, glycogen, and starch because cellulose is made. So basically, they're asking which of these cells they are made from glucose only. So of course, glycogen and starch and cellulose they are made from glucose cells only. Fats they are not made from glucose only. They are made from lipids. And cellulose and proteins, of course, they are not like glucose only structures. So the answer is A. Number 10, four solutions were tested to see if they contained protein, starch, or glucose. The colors of the solutions after the tests are recorded in the table. Which solution contained protein and glucose but not starch? So, not starch, that means we have to have a negative result for the iodine solution test. Now, first of all, let's start out simple. We know that the Biret test is for protein, so I'm going to mark it as P. Iodine is for starch, and the Benedict's is for glucose. So this one has to be positive, which means it has to be brick red color, not blue. And the starch, it has to be yellow-brown. So this is negative, and the protein has to be positive because they said in the question, um, and also protein positive, it will indicate or it will show a purple color. So we have to choose purple and we have to choose yellow brown, not blue black. Blue black is positive result and they do not want that. They want negative starch and positive for glucose and protein. And we have brick red, which is positive for glucose. So our answer is going to be C. 11. Which type of biological molecule are enzymes made of? They are made of protein, so our answer is going to be D. 12. The diagrams show molecules involved in the action of a digestive enzyme. What is the substrate? So substrate is actually B. So why is A, C, and D incorrect? Now, A is the enzyme substrate complex itself. So this is the enzyme with the substrate. Substrate is the gray or the black like squares over here. This is the substrate. So alone, they are substrates. But over here, they are with the enzyme, so this is incorrect. Now, the enzyme itself over here, it remains unchanged. And this is the products after the enzyme reaction. So our answer is going to be B. 13. The graph shows how the activity of an enzyme varies with temperature. What is the optimum temperature for this enzyme and at which temperature is the enzyme completely denatured? So optimum temperature, it shows like where is the reaction at its highest or it's at its peak. So the peak is at 50 over here for this enzyme reaction. As we can see, if you just draw a straight line from the highest point and check where it is, like which temperature is at its highest. This is called the optimum temperature. This is where the rate of enzyme activity is at its highest, so it is at 50. So we're going to be choosing between C and D, not A and B. And completely denatured, which means that the activity was at 0. Denatured, completely denatured, you will check where it became 0, and this is at 60 over here. So the answer is going to be 50 and 60, which is D. 14. An experiment is set up as shown. There is test tube X and test tube Y. Test tube X has a small plant inside, and test tube Y is basically control, which has nothing inside. It just has a green indicator. So you're just going to focus on test tube X because this is the one that will show our answers, not test tube Y. Don't be confused by test tube Y. The green indicator turns yellow when the carbon dioxide concentration increases and turns blue when the carbon dioxide concentration decreases. So when the carbon dioxide increases, it will turn yellow. And when the carbon dioxide concentration decreases, over like this, it will be blue. So this indicates that this is photosynthesis and this one is for respiration. So after several hours, the indicator in test tube X turned blue, the indicator in test tube Y remained green. So test tube Y is of course going to remain green because it has nothing inside, only the green indicator. Test tube X turned blue, which means that the carbon dioxide concentration decreased. which means that there was photosynthesis because when the plant takes in carbon dioxide, this means that it's doing photosynthesis. So, which process caused the color change? It is photosynthesis. What is a description of transpiration? It is the loss of water vapor from leaves. So, this is our answer. 16. The photomicrograph shows a cross-section through a leaf. Which structure is the cuticle? The cuticle is basically the waxy layer on top of the leaf, which is over here at A. The highest layer on top of the leaf is the cuticle. What is lacking in the diet of a person with scurvy? This is vitamin C. 18. What is part of the small intestine? This is, of course, the ileum. 19. The diagram shows apparatus used in an experiment to demonstrate the two processes that take place in the body. So there is dialysis tubing, which is tightly sealed, and it is partially permeable, which means that the molecules inside will be able to go out into the water surrounding the dialysis tubing easily. And there is a mixture of saliva and starch. So saliva and starch, saliva will break down the starch to produce reducing sugars. So we should expect to see soon after the dialysis tubing, after a while, it will release the reducing sugars through the partially permeable membranes in the dialysis tubing. So this is basically showing digestion. So this is digestion. And let's see, after 1 hour, the water outside of the dialysis tubing contained reducing sugars. So which two processes are represented? So we know that first one is digestion. So we're not going to be choosing B so far because it doesn't contain digestion. And so it's not going to be ingestion as well because this is only done by humans and ingestion. So our answer is going to be A, absorption and digestion. 20. Which row identifies the four types of human teeth shown? So 1 is premolar, and 2 is the incisor, and the 3 is the molar, and 4 is the canine. So you can just know something for easier memorization. The big one, which contains like which is divided over two parts, this is always the molar, and the premolar is basically half of one. So the premolar is basically like half of the molar over here. So this is just for memorization. And of course, this question depends on your memorization. You have to know how they look like and their names. 21. The diagram shows the human digestive system. Which letters show where amylase acts during digestion? So basically, amylase is found in two places in our body. It is found in the mouth, in saliva, and it's also found in the small intestine over here, secreted by the liver. So our answer is going to be P and S. 22. Which row describes transport in a plant? So over here we can see that there is phloem and xylem, which are both found in plants. So let's just read. Phloem, transport tissue found in a vascular bundle, yes. So we're going to be choosing between A and C because we know that phloem and xylem are found in vascular bundles. So let's just see. Substances transported, sucrose and amino acid, this is correct for phloem, but it's incorrect for xylem. Xylem transports water, so our answer is going to be A. 23. In humans, which structures provide cells with oxygen and nutrients? This is the capillaries. The diagram shows part of the human circulatory system. What are the numbered blood vessels? So over here, let's see, they're asking about three blood vessels, vena cava, pulmonary vein, and renal artery. So vena cava, we know it is the vein that comes from, it collects blood that is deoxygenated from around the body and takes it back to the heart. So it is going to be indicated by number 5 because it is going to the heart over here. So this is the vena cava. Now, for the pulmonary vein, it is the vein that is going towards the lungs. So this is actually number over here, going from the heart to the lungs. This is the pulmonary vein, so it's number 1. Now, for the renal artery, this is the artery that is containing oxygenated blood going towards the kidney. So this is basically number over here 3. going towards the kidney. So our answer is going to be 5, which is the vena cava as I highlighted over here, and pulmonary vein. And pulmonary vein, as I said, from the heart to the lungs, and renal artery from the heart to the kidneys. So 5, 1, 3. 25. Some methods of transmitting pathogens are listed: drinking contaminated water, contact with another person's blood, and contact with another person's saliva, touching contaminated surfaces. How many are indirect methods of transmitting pathogens? So indirect means that you get pathogens without actually like being in contact with the sick person or the person with the pathogen. So if you are in contact with any of the person's saliva or blood, this is contact. This is direct contact. But if you're touching stuff that the other person touched, and you don't, like, sometimes you go to a place where a sick person has been in, and you touch or you sit without disinfecting the place, so you get their pathogens transmitted to you. So this is indirect. You didn't mean to be in contact with this person. So drinking contaminated water and touching contaminated surfaces, these are indirect methods. So the answer is going to be 2. 26. Which substances are used and produced in aerobic respiration in a plant cell? Of course, the substances used in aerobic respiration, which uses up oxygen, it's of course going to be glucose and oxygen, and substances produced are the carbon dioxide and water. So the answer is going to be C. Which organ excretes urea? This is actually the kidney over here. So the answer is going to be B. Which statements about hormones are correct? Number 1 says the ovaries secrete estrogen. This is correct. The pancreas secretes adrenaline. This is incorrect. The pancreas secretes insulin. This is correct. So our answer is going to be 1 and 3. 29. The diagram shows a plant shoot growing towards the light. What is the name of the plant shoot's response to light? This is actually phototropism, where the whole plant will shift towards the light. So this is phototropism. Parts of an insect pollinated flowers are listed: anther, filament, stigma, style. Which parts are in a carpel? Carpel is basically the female part of the plant, so it is actually the stigma and the style. So the answer is going to be 3 and 4. What is treated with antibiotics? A bacterial infection. Always focus on this part because many students are very confused about it. Antibiotics are treating bacterial infections, not viral infection. 32. Which statements describe asexual reproduction, which means it is a reproduction from only one parent? The production of genetically different offspring from one parent. This is incorrect because it is only producing genetically identical offspring because there is only one parent, so it can only produce the same kind or the same type as itself. Now, B. The production of genetically different offspring from two parents. This is incorrect. And also this one is going to be incorrect because from two parents. So the only correct answer is the production of genetically identical offspring from one parent. So this is correct statement about asexual reproduction. 33. In humans, why are sperm cells produced in much greater number than egg cells? Many sperm cells are needed to fertilize an egg cell. This is absolutely incorrect. Only one is needed. Sperm cells are small in size. This is not a reason for the large amount of sperm cells produced. Sperm cells are non-motile. Of course, this is incorrect, which means they don't move around. This is, of course, incorrect. The chance of one sperm reaching an egg is very small. This is the correct answer. What is the ball of cells that implants into the lining of the uterus during sexual reproduction in humans? This is the embryo. This is like the stage where there is beginning to form a fetus inside. This is the embryo. Gamete is actually not even found in humans. This is in the plants. 35. Which sex chromosomes need to be present in a sperm cell to produce a male offspring? While only, because there is already X chromosomes in the female, so there is only Y needed to produce the XY chromosome, which is for the male. So the answer is going to be B. 36. ABO blood groups are an example of one type of variation. What is the cause of this type of variation? This is only by genes. Environment cannot affect your blood type. Only genes. This is something you're born with, so you cannot really control it. So answer is going to be genes. 37. Which statement is an example of natural selection? Choosing donkeys with desirable characteristics to breed. This is not natural. Choosing to cross-pollinate wheat plants. Of course, this is not natural again. Because this is selective breeding. You chose to do this. They didn't choose to do this, the animals or the plants. Inserting genes, again, this is human who did this. It's not natural. So again, this is selective breeding. In wildflowers, the development of petals that look like insects to attract pollinators. This is natural selection, which means that the plant or like the animal or whatever, they decided to change themselves to adapt to the environment. This is natural selection, and they did it from themselves. Not no like humans are like they didn't really affect the breeding process. So the answer is going to be D. 38. The graph shows the increase in the human population of the world since 1630. What was the longest time taken for the population to double? So over here, let's just analyze this real quick. Over here we had from 1830 until 1930 there was 1000, and then it went up to 2000. So this is double in 100 years. Now over here it went up from 2000 to 4000, from 1930 to 2030. So this is again 100 years. And so it took 100 years and another 100 years to double. So the answer is going to be 200 years, both of them. So the population doubled over a course of 200 years. 39. Lichens are organisms that do not grow well in polluted air. Which graph shows the change in the number of lichen species from the center of a polluted city to the unpolluted countryside 15 kilometers away? So they do not grow well in polluted air, so they will actually go a further distance from the place that is polluted. So the number of lichen species over here, it shows that they have to go to unpolluted countryside 15 kilometers away, which means that they have to be at their highest at 15. So this is incorrect because it shows that they are at their lowest at 15, and this one shows it has to be a gradual increase, like either it is going down or going up. So this is going up and this is like going down. This one is also incorrect. It has to be either A or C. Of course, C is the correct one because it shows that the number of lichen species are at their highest 15 kilometers away, which is away from the polluted part of the city. 40. Which trophic levels describe an organism that only eats herbivores? So we have the producer, which is number one. Producers are always plants. So primary consumer is the one that eats the plant itself. So this is basically like a vegetarian. This is not herbivore. This is vegetarian because it only eats plants. And herbivores means that it is an animal that eats like animals that eat only plants. So this is basically the secondary consumer. This was the end of our exam. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all learned something new. And if you like this video, please leave a like and share it with your friends so they can learn as well. Thank you all and good luck with your exams.